the iron rod, the kingdom of heaven, was meant to be a place of light and peace, a sanctuary where souls found solace after the hardships of earth. But for Esau, heaven was anything but. His arrival had not come with the gentle acceptance of forgiveness. Instead, he'd been met by the gaze of his brother Jacob, a gaze cold as winter stone, carrying the weight of centuries of pain. Esau's sentence was announced before the host of heaven. He was to serve as Jacob's slave for 1,000 years, and each day he would feel the weight of Jacob's wrath, a wrath as unyielding as an iron rod. Every morning, Esau rose to see Jacob standing in the distance, holding the rod. The rod was unlike anything crafted by human hands, blackened, jagged, forged from heaven's own fires, pulsing faintly like a heart that had been stolen from the light. And each morning, Jacob approached slowly, his face expressionless, as if every swing of the iron rod were as necessary as breathing. The first time it struck Esau, he crumpled to his knees, his voice caught in his throat. He hadn't thought it possible to feel pain in heaven, but this iron rod was no earthly weapon. It carried with it the memories of every wrong he had done to Jacob, every stolen blessing, every harsh word, every moment of violence. The iron burned and seared, not just his flesh, but his very soul. Day after day, Jacob returned. Each strike echoed through heaven, a sound that should have been possible, an abomination in a place of perfect peace. The other souls turned away, averting their gaze from Esau's torment, their hearts too soft to bear witness. As the centuries passed, Esau grew weaker, his spirit fading with every blow. He felt himself unraveling, his essence fraying as he took on the weight of 1,000 years' punishment. At night, he would sink into the shadows, his mind shattered, plagued by dreams of his own guilt, manifesting into dark, slithering shapes that wrapped around him, whispering, "This is justice." The iron rod left scars upon him that never healed, scars that glowed faintly in the darkness, reminders of the sins he could never escape. And each scar was filled with a strange crawling light, a painful reminder that even heaven itself watched him, judging. When the 1,000th year approached, Esau had become more shadow than substance. He could no longer stand, his form translucent, his voice a ghostly whisper. On the final day, Jacob stood over him, the iron rod in hand one last time. He looked down at Esau, his face impassive, his eyes hollow. "Your debt is paid," Jacob said, his voice cold, devoid of mercy. But heaven has no place for a soul so darkened by hatred. With a final swing, the rod struck Esau, his form shattered, his spirit dissolving like smoke. But as it faded, he felt not the release of oblivion, but a sickening realization. He would continue to fall, forever, beyond heaven's reach, into a darkness where his suffering would stretch into eternity. In the kingdom of heaven, the iron rod lay on the ground, still and cold. But in that darkness, it echoed eternally, carrying with it the screams of a soul that had been shattered beyond redemption. And heaven was silent, for justice had been served.